We're prepared to close if the other side is.
Gentleman from Ohio.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, there is a crisis at the border. I mean, the president even said so. There is chaos at the border. The crisis and the chaos have been created by policies of this administration. We were down at the border 2 weeks ago. Every agent we talked to, every single Border Patrol agent we talked to said the crisis has been created by policy changes made by the Biden administration, specifically 3. They announced to the world they weren't going to deport anyone. Moratorium on deportation. They announced to the world they weren't going to finish the wall. And most importantly, they got rid of the Remain in Mexico policy. And what do we have? We had March, the highest number of illegal immigrants coming into our nation since they've been keeping records. So it is definitely a crisis, definitely chaos. And what do the Democrats do? What do the Democrats do? Last month, they passed 2 bills that give amnesty to millions of illegal immigrants. You can't make this stuff up. And then today they're going to pass a piece of legislation that takes power away from the commander-in-chief, takes power away from the individual who was on the ballot and was elected, and gives it to the unelected Secretary of State and Secretary of Homeland Security. I mean, you would think if they were going to take power away from the president, they would at least give it to the vice president. After all, she's the one who's been put in charge of this thing. But they don't even do that. They don't even do that. The answer is real simple. What we should be focused on, reinstating the policies that worked. In fact, again, when we were down there 2 weeks ago, and by the way, we invited the Democrats to go with us. They said no. When we were down there 2 weeks ago, every Border Patrol agent said, reinstate the policies that were working, and we don't have the problem. We don't have the crisis. But no, we couldn't do something that common sense. We couldn't do something that simple, that basic. They instead come with this legislation. Reinstate the policies that work. Don't take power away from the individual who was elected by the American people, the commander-in-chief. Don't implement crazy policies. Do the things that work. But no, that's not what we're going to do. And then after this bill's done, they're going to say, oh, by the way, bring in the lawyers. Give access to counsel to people coming into our country. It makes absolutely no sense. One of the speakers earlier said, out of many, one. That is so true about this country. But is it too much to ask to have the many who come into this country do it legally and have policies in place that make sense? Is that too much to ask? I think most taxpayers, most Americans think that makes good common sense. This bill does not. I hope we vote it down. I hope we go back to the policies that work. With that, Madam Speaker, we yield back the balance of our time.
Gentleman yields back.